What's up? I'm Jack. Welcome into the LFC Transfer Room. Today's video is a brief overview of Arnaut Danjuma, some of his stats, what he's done at Villareal this season, and an update on the transfer rumors linking him to a move to Liverpool. We'll have all that and more in today's video. Make sure to subscribe. Let's get into things. So Arnaut Danjuma is a forward, played for Bournemouth last season in the Championship, acquiring 15 goals and 7 assists across 33 appearances in the second tier of English football. He was linked heavily to a move to Liverpool, did not materialize in the end, obviously. He ended up going to Villarreal of the Spanish division. They had just recently won the Europa League for £20 million. Now, he's, I don't want to say lit the world alight in terms of what he's been able to do at Villarreal, but he's had a very strong season across 18 appearances in the Champions League and the Spanish La Liga. He's gotten 9 goals and 3 assists in all competitions. So we're kind of going to look at some of his stats as well to kind of give a bit of a comparison. Obviously, as a left-sided forward with that right-footed, he's very similar comps in terms of Jota and Mane in terms of where he would play in Liverpool's 4-3-3 system. He's played there a little bit at Villarreal under Unai Emery after his failed spell at Arsenal. But what we've seen very interestingly is he's also played as a second striker in a 4-4-2. So we'll look at some stats here. A bit of a spider chart here. Going to add some context before we kind of break down the numbers. These are per 90s, excuse me, these are percentiles for per 90s in the league and Champions League over the last 365 days, comparing between top 5 league attacking midfielders and wingers. All data according to fbref.com. These teal circle looking shape is Danjuma, the black is Sadio Mane, and the red is Diogo Jota, kind of comparing these numbers. Now, the underlying thing that you see is the actual number of assists. He has 4 assists total in terms of their calculations. So really, it is a, don't look at these assists and think that he's an unreal creator. He's a good creator, but it's, again, the per 90s and percentiles can make these look a little distorted at times. The general reason why I chose to do these per 90s in the graphs is because look at how similar they are in a lot of different areas, where maybe he has a bit of an extra strength in terms of his assists, maybe he's a bit weaker in his key passes. Tackles and interceptions, he's very weak. Ball recovery, he's very weak, but he's also comparable to Mane in terms of the raw number of ball recoveries he makes per 90. So what the biggest thing that I've seen is that where Jota kind of lacks a bit here, strength here, and in the XG as well, he's one excellent carrier of the ball into the penalty area. Sadio Mane, when he takes players on, he's very successful, but sometimes he's been in and out in terms of how often he does that. So that's kind of just a raw overview of some very key attributes that I take for a Liverpool forward. Ability to win the ball back, to be creative with it, get in good spots with the XG. He has a very healthy XG, and actually putting them in the back of the net. He has a very good ratio of that, as well as being a bit creative in terms of that sense as well. So Danjuma, you know, the odds of him going to Liverpool, low. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's going to be coming into Liverpool. This is kind of just an overview halfway through the season. He hasn't played for quite a few matches for Villarreal, but Fabrizio Romano saying very recently on his Here We Go podcast that he's hearing that it's impossible to happen in January. Liverpool won't panic buy. A £60 million release clause in the contract of Danjuma is what it would take to get him out of his contract at Villarreal. A hefty price for a guy who wouldn't walk in and command a starting spot immediately, but we've seen Liverpool in the past decide to pull the trigger on players at price that may have been deemed a little high. Think of Diogo Jota, maybe Virgil van Dijk, that have aged very, very well. So that's kind of just an overview of Arnaut Danjuma, what he could bring to Liverpool, and the odds of the move. Not very high, but you never know what can happen in the last few weeks of the January transfer window. Well, let me know what you think on his style of play and if he would be a fit for Liverpool. If there are any other players that you have in mind for Liverpool to sign, drop them in the comments down below, and we'll have similar video styles to these, bringing you all you need for Liverpool Football Club throughout this January window. I've been Jack. Thank you very much for watching today's video on the LFC Transfer. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and drop a like while you're here if you like what you see. I'll catch you in the next one on the LFC Transfer Room.